Hi, Trevor.
Hi,
How's it
Michelle.
going?
Excellent. Yourself?
Very good, thank you.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. I'll just start by kind of overview of what we're going to go over today.
Great.
And I have a few handouts here that are going to be really helpful. So don't feel like you have to remember everything I'm saying because you have lots of information here. You can kind of look over and review later.
Perfect.
So on this sheet is kind of what I'm going to model, and that's the first step. I'm going to start by modeling the way that we're going to teach this skill to Danny.
Okay.
And this has all the steps I'm going to go through right here. These are all the actions for each sign, so you'll have all that information in front of you. So
Okay.
first step, I'll model. Next step, then I'll have you demonstrate it back. I'll answer any questions you have about the demonstration, and then it'll kind of be your turn. You'll role play to me, and then I'll give you some feedback. We'll kind of go over anything else we think we need to talk about or iron out, and then kind of discuss our future plan for Danny and when we'll meet next. And that's pretty much what's going to happen today.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell me a bit about Danny?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So he just started at the center, and he is nonverbal, but he has a really strong ability to copy actions. He's a very happy kid, but a few behaviors because of not having a functional form of communication. So that's kind of what we're trying to work on by teaching him a few signs so that he can mand for certain things that he enjoys. So these are the 3 signs that we're going to start with teaching him.
Okay.
So I have this on the handout for you, and I'll just kind of go over these quickly right now so you can kind of learn how each sign looks.
Sure.
So the first one's train. So your left hand stays stationary, and both of your hands are in this shape right here.
Okay.
And you just move your right hand across your left, kind of like a train going on the track.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. Then the second one is cookie. So again, your left hand stays stationary, right hand forms a C.
Okay.
And then you just kind of do it like you're cutting a cookie in the dough.
Makes sense.
And the last one is bubbles. And this one's very simple. It's kind of like bubbles in the air and you're popping them.
Perfect. So Danny has like an affinity to these 3 objects, Thomas Tank Engine, cookies.
These are all really reinforcing items, and that's what we're going to start with just because that's going to be motivation to learn, right? Because the reinforcement is something that he really enjoys. So yeah.
That makes sense then.
And if any of the signs are too difficult, if he's having trouble fine motor wise performing any of the signs, then you can kind of simplify them down. You just have to make sure that I and any other adult that is working with him knows what his simplified version of the sign is, so everyone's kind of using the same thing across the board.
Consistency.
And if you forget about any of how to do any of the signs, or for future when we're adding signs, LifePrint is a great resource to check out. They have videos of all the signs demonstrated on there.
Okay.
So that's for you to keep. So I'll have you play Danny in the demonstration if that's okay.
Sure.
I'll do the demonstration first. So basically first you start by giving the learner a sample of whatever it is you're trying to create him, motivation for him. So bubbles, you'll blow some bubbles. Once he demonstrates it, then you'll give a verbal and model the sign twice. So bubbles, bubbles, and then you take his hands, physically prompt him to form the bubble sign. You'll say, bubbles, great work. And then you'll blow the bubbles for him for a few seconds and let him play. Then an action, clap hands, good job. And then you move on to the next one. So you'll say, cookie, cookies, cookies. And then demonstrate it twice, and then kind of help him. Cookies, good job. There you go.
Excellent.
And then you move through another action. So we just kind of put in those actions in between the signs we're teaching, just because that's a mastered skill for him, and it's kind of like an automatic reinforcement. And then you just continue on to the next sign. Did you have any questions about that so far?
That sounds good. Pretty straightforward.
So right here is I've provided you with a copy of the Mediator performance checklist, and this is what I'll use when observing you, even with Danny or right now during our practice demonstration. And this is just a good thing for you to look at, and you can often mark yourself after and be like, okay, did I do that or did I do that? If you do like a video of yourself, say,
Sure.
performing. So this is just a good thing to look at. So each step 1 provides learner with sample of items. Step 2 provides model prompt and verbal prompt once. Provides model prompt second time. Verbal prompt second time. Physically prompts learner to form the sign. Verbally label the sign again. Only states sign being taught, as well as the verbal praise. Provides reinforcement immediately. Moves on to next still in good time, depending on the reinforcement item that you're giving him. So yeah, this is what I'm going to use to just mark your performance.
Sure.
So a couple things you might run into when you're teaching Danny is that sometimes when children are learning signs, they might start scrolling. So when they only have a few that they know, a handful, they'll scroll through all of them trying to get this. They're trying to get a certain item, but they're just scrolling through all of them because they're just learning. And
they haven't contextualized each of these signs.
Yeah, they haven't separated them. And so this can occur just like if you're fading the prompts too quickly sometimes, or just something like that. So if this happens, all you need to do is take his hands, kind of hold them still for 3 seconds, repeat the sign you're trying to have him evoke, and then physically prompt him into that, and then reinforce when you physically prompted him to do the one sign, like say it was cookie.
Okay.
An opposite problem might be just them holding out limp hands. This might mean that you're not fading your prompts quickly enough. So if this happens, you need to just start maybe accepting some approximations of the sign, or like starting to putting it in and letting him finish can
Sure.
help to avoid the limp hands being held out. Yeah, so are you feeling comfortable? You think you want to give it a try?
Oh, sure. Well, let's start.
Okay.
Bubbles. 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 Great job. All right, clap hands. Wonderful. Cookie. Cookie. Great job. Here you go. Touch shoulders.
All right, awesome. That's amazing. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So you did a really great job. It was a great first run through. Just going over quickly the checklist. I think the only thing that you missed was to verbally label the sign again. So once you've demonstrated twice, and then you prompted like physically, you said good job, which is the verbal praise part, but you just forgot to again label it to really reaffirm what we're trying to. So Cookie, great job, or great job, Cookie. Well, you just need to relabel it again at that point. So I think that's the only thing you missed, which was great because this is your first go through, and I think as you work with Danny and you get more comfortable, it'll get smoother, and your transitions were good too between the actions that you were teaching, so that's great. And so if you run into scrolling, what is it that you do again? Do you remember?
Well, I'd hold his hands for 3 seconds, and then try to reaffirm the label we're going to teach.
Awesome, yeah, you got it. All right, I'm feeling really good. I think that if Danny quickly masters these 3 signs, then we're going to plan to meet again and pick the other signs we want him to learn next, and then our next step would be to transfer these skills to his home environment, his school environment, and just maintain these skills. And I think that 2 weeks is a good time frame. He'll get enough sessions, and then we will meet back here if you're available on April 18th, and we'll just review how he's doing and how you're feeling about the program and how everything's going.
Sounds great.
Do you have any other questions?
I think you covered it perfectly.
Okay, awesome. So I feel like great first session, and if anything comes up you need to ask me about, just feel free to contact me. And yeah, these are all for you to keep. Thanks.
Great.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ms. Roger.